What is up, lads and ladies, it's Edward here and welcome back to another video where today it's another JMO, but this time it's going to involve some other people. Just my opinion about the whole thing with the transfer window. And each team had different windows, you know. We're going to have a look at each team, what their window was like, and basically grade them. Yes, I did get the idea of grading them from Spencer FC, so I'll leave a link to that video in the description. So, for the first team, it's obviously Arsenal. Arsenal had a really damn good window. Alexis Sanchez being probably their best player for a few good years while he was there. They also did lose Giroud, a good solid plan B. The people they brought in, Aubameyang, Mkhitaryan. Aubameyang being pace and power, the exact kind of striker that they're looking for. They're saying he could be like another Thierry Henry. Striker-wise, they haven't got Giroud, but they do have Lacazette, a decent plan B, as it looks to be. He could be now. So for me, Arsenal's grade is an A. They have had one of the best transfer windows, if not the best. Obviously, next up is Bournemouth. Now, Bournemouth actually, they didn't do any business. The only business they did make was Lewis Graben. They brought him back off loan. So that's not really a transfer, is it? They didn't lose any of their key players like Josh King, Junior Stanislas, but they didn't make any business signings. They didn't make any investment in the squad to make them better. So I will have to give them a grade C-. Now, Brighton is an interesting one. Obviously, there was a few bits of the squad that they needed to improve on. They've got a decent keeper though. They've got some good attacking players that just need to fit in with the league. Obviously, the main threat for them was the striker. They didn't have a striker threat in general. So they made actually two signings. One with Premier League experience, being Leonardo Odjbox, and the other being, I think, from the Dutch league, Odjbox. We haven't seen much of him in action, like in the Premier League at all. So he's going to be a bit of an iffy one to think about. But Brighton did target an area they needed to improve. They've got Premier League experience in Leonardo Edora, who used to play for them as well. Decent little window for them, but not sort of like the best one out there. So I will give Brighton a B.
How's it going, lads? Thank you for having me on your channel. Just to start off with, I'm Brighton Albion fan, and I'm going to be talking about the transfers. We didn't really do that much in the transfer window. We did sign two very key players in Leonardo Edora from Leicester on loan until the end of the season. He's a club legend. It's a bit like Bobby Zamora when he came back a few seasons ago, or last season, or the year before that, I think. And it's basically one of them. And already, he hasn't even started a game. He's been coming on as a substitute, and he's made an instant impact. And for me, that's a quality signing, and one where he can actually get some goals. And as well as goals, we've signed another striker for £15 million from PSV, Jurgen Locadia. I mean, I haven't heard too much about him, but he scores goals, he's strong and fast, and that's something Brighton do not have. We've got Glenn Murray up top at the minute, and he scored 9 goals. Just think, if Glenn Murray can score 9 goals, you Locadia with, you know, more pace, power. We're looking at about 20, 30, 40, you know, he's going to be up with Harry Kane. Oh, I'm joking before you take that to heart, or seriously, mate. Because we could have strengthened in the fullback positions, but for me, I'm really happy with the window. We signed a striker, which was our main target. We've done it. We didn't sell any key players out, so it's a good window. And, yeah, I'm going to be grading Brighton a grade B. B for Brighton. Let's do it. Come on, Brighton. Let's stay up this season, and hopefully we could do it. Come on, you Albion.
Burnley didn't make as many signings either. They made about 3 signings, which was the standard by the looks of it. But did they really need to make any signings? The only signings that they could have made would have been probably ones for Champions League group places and title league places. Honestly, Burnley wouldn't be able to get that kind of player in yet. Obviously, the 2 signings they did bring in that were big, George Kevin Nkudu from Spurs on a loan deal, and obviously Aaron Lennon coming from my club, Everton. So I think Lennon's going to have a great time there. I think he's going to get a big resurgence in form. He's going to do so well for them, I think. Nkudu's going to get that valuable Premier League experience that they need. Plus, they've really gone for what they needed, which was pacey wingers. They didn't sell anyone, which was key to the squad either, so I'm giving Burnley a B. Now, the next one, obviously, is Chelsea. Chelsea also had a very interesting window. They made a few key signings. They brought in Emerson. They've also brought in a big target man in Olivier Giroud from their North London rivals, Arsenal. What Giroud can bring into that team when Morata can't, say if Morata's injured or Hazard can't perform in that place, Giroud brings a target, he brings pace. No, he doesn't bring pace, but he brings strength, height, power, everything that Chelsea need in a proper target man with a lot of Premier League experience and knows how to score goals. I think he's got the most from like a substitute appearance, so that is a decent plan B they've got. They've blown out Batshuayi, who looks to be tearing it up in the German league, but he wasn't doing it for Chelsea. He wasn't doing it in Premier League like everyone thought he could. Yeah, not a bad sign. Obviously, we have to talk about Ross Barkley going to Chelsea. Alright, 15 million, very good deal for them for an English centre mid. Cheers for that, Chelsea. But the amount of options they've got on midfield, Barkley seems a bit of a iffy one to go for out of all of them. I still think he'll be a really good option for Chelsea. So Chelsea, you've got the A. You've got another A grade. Now Crystal Palace actually didn't make any big signings that like brought a lot of attention in, but they did bring in a big number 9 in Alexander Sørloth. Made his debut against us, and he looked impressive. Looks better, but lack of Premier League experience in their signings. They've made no one like who's got any experience in it at all from different leagues. Didn't sell anyone bad though. B- for Palace. Crystal Palace got B-. Now, obviously, we come on to my team, Everton. Now, Everton obviously making 3 big signings, all in areas that we needed to target. We've got a left-sided defender in Iliquim Mangala. Damn it! Theo Walcott, pace, dribbling. Oh, he looks brilliant on the ball. And of course, we've got our big target man, Cenk Tosun, who looks like he's not replacing Nias at the minute, but that doesn't bother me. Obviously, we did get rid of Ross Barkley, we got rid of Kevin Morales, but it's all players that weren't getting into the team. Decent for us. I'm going to give us an A. Not being biased, but I genuinely think we had one of the best windows out of everyone.
Hi, this is Gerry from the ToffeeBlues YouTube channel, and I'm here to talk to you about Everton's January transfer window. Let's start with the permanent outgoing transfers. I got to start with Ross Barkley. Went to Chelsea. I'm going to give that a B. Didn't give it an A because we all kind of wanted to keep him. He's somebody we really believed in for a while. But at the same time, his head wasn't in it anymore. He wanted to go somewhere else. Do you really want a player on your payroll who's pining to leave? Let's go to Aaron Lennon. Aaron Lennon got transferred to Burnley. Honestly, I give this one an A. If we hadn't replaced him with someone very capable, probably would have been a lower grade. But we did. I feel like Lennon needed to move on. I feel like Everton needed somebody with a little bit more attacking intent. So, incoming permanent transfers. Thinking about Cenk Tosun from Besiktas. Gonna give that one a B right now because he hasn't had a chance to really perform yet, so we don't know. Theo Walcott is an A. Anybody who's watched us play since he's been in the squad, he's been incredible. Direct, quick, he's a gear faster than everybody else. That's been a solid transfer. Let's finish with the outgoing loans. Kevin Morales, we loaned him to Olympiacos, which is probably going to be a permanent transfer down the road. He wanted to leave, so I give that an A. He's one of those guys who was a match winner, but at the same time, very inconsistent and had attitude issues. Sandro Ramirez to Sevilla. He just hasn't gotten much playing time. In the time that he's had, he hasn't done a whole lot with it. I'm going to give this a C. If he does come back to us and does well, it could be valuable experience he's getting. But I actually think that he could have contributed this season. And it's a shame that he hasn't really been given an opportunity. Mo Besic to Middlesbrough, I give it an A. Win-win. He's going there to get some minutes, and he needs that. He needs the minutes right now. Ademola Lookman, I give it a D. He's a guy who's, when he's played, he's produced. The only reason this isn't an F is he's hopefully going to get some experience. The last transfer was a last-minute signing, an incoming loan of Iliquim Mangala from Man City. Big center back. He's somebody I thought could contribute despite the warnings that we've gotten from City fans. But he got injured last game. He could be out for the rest of the season. So right now I'm giving that a C. And the last thing that we didn't address at all is a left back. We had bids rejected for left backs. We didn't address what people saw as our biggest need. I give us an F for not getting a left back. So put all that together. Put everything together, average all the grades out, it adds up to a C+. I think the real grades for this, we won't actually know until the end of the season or even next season. So yeah, thanks.
Huddersfield now. Huddersfield, really their only major signing was Kongolo, who looked to be good. Definitely looks to be a little good signing for the left-sided sort of defence area, which they needed to improve on. Kongolo, they haven't really made any signings that are decent and going to push them up the table, which is what they needed, or just to avoid relegation, which they have got with Kongolo. He could help them, definitely, but we'll see. So for Huddersfield, I've given them a C.
Hi guys, I'm Ben. I'm here on Jammy James' YouTube channel. I do Huddersfield vlogs and Terry's TV. Our transfer window has probably been around like a sort of D grade. It's not been the best. We have spent about £12 million on Alex Pritchard, who is only started one game and hasn't played in his last like 3 games, but hopefully it's a good signing. But I would like to see Town bring in a striker and a winger. We've got rid of most of our depth with Joe Lally and Martin Craney going to... Joe Lally's gone to Forest and Martin Craney's gone to Middlesbrough, which I don't think is good for us because Martin Craney was a great squad player and Joe Lally was featuring quite a bit. Sean Scannell back on loan from Burton after coming back from an injury. So hopefully he's taken Lally's role. Terence Congola's coming on loan, who was a good signing, and he's taken Craney's place in the matchday squad. So yeah, hopefully they've proved to be good signings. Congola's already been absolutely brilliant so far. Haven't seen much of Pritchard, but hopefully it fills that role for us in number 10 that we haven't got. It's literally like a void, so yeah. Hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you subscribe to me and subscribe to James, and hopefully this video does well.
Now, Leicester City. Leicester did well with what they've got. Diabate looks good. He didn't really play as well as he could have done against us in their 2-1 loss, but he looked decent against Peterborough. Alright, it's Peterborough, but the kid's young, he's got plenty of talent about him, and looks to be a really, really good signing for Leicester. However, they did lose a lot of their strikers. While they brought in Diabate, they've lost Musa, Andy King on loan, alright, he's not a striker, Islam Slimani as well. They obviously didn't get rid of Mahrez, which could affect the squad. So, should they have got rid of him? I don't know for sure. However, if they were offering that amount of money, they wanted about like 90 million, City were offering 60 million. Fair play, they resisted City, which is right to do so, but at what cost? Is Mahrez going to come back the same player? Is he going to keep his head down and work for the team? One of their best, if not their best player at Leicester at the minute. So for Leicester, although they did approach good areas, good strikers that would be able to back up, so I'm going to give them a C.
So thank you, Edward, for letting me on your channel, and I'm here to address my team, as you can see right there, Leicester City, their transfer window, and I'm going to grade it at a D. I don't think it was a terrible window, but I don't think it was a great window. Our only additions really was Adrian Silva, who we finally got registered, but we brought him in the summer realistically, so I don't really count that as recruiting him in January. And then we've also signed Fousseni Diabate, who looks like a real good talent, you know, from the French second division, same places we plucked players like Mahrez from, so it looks really positive with that. But on the other side of things, we've let Andy King go out on loan, who's probably going to leave on a permanent Swansea, and he's a club legend, you know, he's been at the club for 13 years, so that was sad to see him go. We let Musa go, which I've not got a problem with, but Musa go on loan, Edora go on loan, and Slimani go on loan, which is 3 strikers out the door, and Okazaki is now currently picked up a 2-week injury, so we're short of strikers. We've got Ian Vardy, that's it. Very poor choice from the club, I feel. So yeah, I feel like we could have brought in a lot more players. We need a left back, we need a right back, not enough depth there, and quite frustrating. We need to address that in the summer. But yeah, with the players all going out as well, we're short in cover up front. It's not been a great window, but yeah, that's all I've got to say.
Liverpool did some good business early on in the window, especially with Van Dijk getting in, the most expensive defender, 75 million for a big, strong, powerful, pace-ridden centre-back who scored in his debut against the rivals in the FA Cup. He looks like it could be a really good one for Liverpool. He looks exactly what they need for a centre-back, because what they had before, Joel Matip, Klavan, weren't working. Lovren, he's come good since Van Dijk has come in, so maybe that's a resurgence in form for him. Plus, they lost one of their main of the Fab Four in Felipe Coutinho. Now Coutinho, I reckon he's going to be really missed, and they didn't really replace him. Alright, they've got Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain who can come into that role now of the creative player. I feel like he could be missed, Coutinho, especially in those big games. Alright, City, they beat them 4-3 without Coutinho, but that was from defensive mistakes from City. But we'll see. So for now, actually, I'm going to give Liverpool a B, because they got a decent bit of money in for Coutinho, but they didn't bring in that replacement that they needed.
You know, it's Brendan here from 90 Min. Give my opinion on the Liverpool transfer window. I thought that it was a good window for us, to be honest. I mean, obviously, we had two major comings and goings. There was the loss of Coutinho, which, you know, a lot of Liverpool fans expected it, but we expected it in the summer. But, you know, these things happen. And then we brought in Van Dijk. I think Van Dijk's a fantastic signing. He's an amazing signing, to be honest. Like, his game against Porto was phenomenal. He was looking solid. I mean, there's been a few shaky moments, but that's just him settling into a defence, really. I know a lot of Liverpool fans were crying out for us to replace Coutinho immediately, and I think, well, that was just stupid. It would have been a waste of money, because all the players we'd want to get in to replace him of like that calibre, they'd be tied for the Champions League, so wouldn't be able to play them in our most important games this season. So obviously, there would have been a premium on us as well. Like after the Coutinho sale, people would have charged us more for whoever we wanted. I think it was good business to wait until the summer, and also gives players like Chamberlain, players like Lallana a chance to step up and show that they can fill that role and they can be as influential. And I think it was a really smart move, not panic buying someone and not getting the right target for us. So overall, I think we've had a really good window. I mean, we've got in a long-term target, brought in a lot of money for Coutinho, so overall I'm pretty happy with it.
Man City will be a quick and easy one. They didn't really get rid of any of their players that they needed in the squad. They did bring in a really young, quality centre-back who can pass and defend, and a left-sided defender as well, Aymeric Laporte. Alright, they spent a lot of money, 54 million on him, but it seems nothing different for them. And I feel like Laporte's only just, like, he's only going to reinforce their title challenge, and they'll have won the title. One, didn't really get any rid of players, so B+. B+ for City.
This is Booby from 90 Min, reporting for Edward. I'm just thinking, yeah, the January transfer window was quite important for Man City. I think we've got the ability to achieve some great things this season, sort of unprecedented records, and why not go for a few players? Obviously we were linked with Sanchez, that fell through. Mahrez was more than just a sort of last minute panic buy. I think we were sort of linked with him for about 3 weeks out of the 4 weeks in the January transfer window. So that fell through. That's Leicester's right. He's under contract to stay there. And Laporte, I think, looks like a top signing. So really happy with Laporte. I think Man City have looked at the World Cup and they thought, yeah, a lot of these players are going to be playing really intense games in Russia. Why not sign a couple in January? Obviously we only signed one, and we also signed a guy from New York City FC, which is he's gone straight back on loan, so not really not really a game changer, that one. But Laporte definitely is 4 top centre backs now for Man City. It means we're a lot stronger down the middle. Would have been nice to get Fred in from Shakhtar. Really sort of gutted we couldn't get that over the line. I think he's sort of signed a pre-contract agreement for the summer. So we're a bit light in the central midfield, sort of defensive midfield in that sort of aspect. Apart from that, yeah, really happy, and Laporte looks like a top signing already.
Now going to their rivals, Man United. So United obviously getting an A- in my opinion, because they brought in Alexis Sanchez, who is quality in itself. He's going to change games for them, really going to bring in a new dimension for what Mkhitaryan couldn't do. However, they're paying a lot of big bucks for a guy who's now 29. So is he sort of coming out of his prime now as that sort of player? Alright, he can play in a lot of different positions. He's going to bring a lot of quality, certainly bump up the title challenge. But is it too late to have invested in him now? I still think he's good. Obviously the only big loss they had was Mkhitaryan, but Mkhitaryan wasn't really doing anything for them. So Alexis Sanchez, spot on, A- for United. Now Newcastle have actually got a B. They invested in what they needed in. They've got a good striker, Slimani, obviously on the loan from Leicester. Kennedy, another quick, skillful pace winger from Chelsea on loan. And this new keeper they've got in Dubravka, he looks good. He kept I think it was a clean sheet against Man United, which is big for them. Pulled off some stunning saves. The only real risk there is Slimani. You know, he's got the likes of Gale and Hostelou to compete with, so he'll probably get some game time. Whether he's going to be successful, because he wasn't at Leicester, he was a bit of a flop to be honest. Will he do good? Time will tell, but Newcastle, in my opinion, got a B.
What's going on, guys? Edward's asked me to give a quick chat on Newcastle United's January transfer window and rate it from A to F.
So, in all honesty, I thought we were going to bring no one in. Everything that's going on with Ashley, the owner, I honestly thought nothing would happen. And we managed to bring in 3 players on loan. We did nothing in the summer. I thought it was going to be the same again. We brought in Dubravka, the goalie from Slovakian international goalkeeper. Hopefully he can do us a job. Kennedy on loan from Chelsea, left winger / left back. He's looked amazing in his first 2 games for us. And Slimani on loan from Leicester, who I'm hoping is going to score us some goals. It's really hard to give a rating. I think depending on if Slimani scores the goals, Kennedy plays well and we stay up, we've had a good window. If Slimani doesn't score goals and we get relegated, we've had a bad window. So C+, maybe even pushing for a B if Slimani gets loads of goals and keeps us in the Premier League. It's really hard to rate it. But honestly, I thought we were going to bring in no one. So I am genuinely happy we've done anything. I just need to hope the players we have brought in can keep us in the Premier League. And I think it's going to be close. But I think and hope we're going to do it.
Now, Southampton, I personally think, had the worst window out of everyone. I would honestly go as far as to say Southampton have got a D- because they've lost a big centre-back. Problem for them, which he didn't have many game times, but it's still a necessary outlet to have in Van Dijk. Losing Van Dijk, they've not really invested the money. In fact, they've made one signing. Guido Carrillo, Southampton on a D- for me. They just haven't done anything in the transfer window and they've lost big parts of the team.
Alright guys, Owen here to rate Southampton's transfer window, and I have to give it a D. It was a disaster ultimately. Obviously the sale of Van Dijk was announced before the window even opened. We lost our big commanding centre back, and did we replace him? No. Jack Stevens and Wesley Hoyt are both good, but neither are dominant in the air. So we're just going to be conceding so many headers for the rest of the season. We haven't been great for them so far, but in our last game we conceded 2 against West Brom, and I just think it's going to get worse as the season goes on. We listed Theo Walcott and Quincy Promise as our main 2 targets, so clearly we wanted a pacey attacker and we failed with both of them and didn't bring any in. The only reason I'm not giving us an F is for who we did bring in, Guido Carrillo, Monaco's reserve striker, but he is a big target man. He's worked with Pellegrino before, offers focal point to the team. It's what we did need a target man, but we also needed a centre back and some pace in attack. So the squad is still unbalanced, but we're hitting a bit of form. So you never know. Maybe it's not the end of the world, and I can rise that D for maybe a C. But at the moment, it's a D.
So Stoke obviously made a couple of signings. They've looked like they've really gone for that midfield to make it a bit more compact. Looks a bit like replacing the likes of Charlie Adams. So, yeah, business attended well. Didn't lose any of the key players. Not really able to judge though, because they didn't make any of the signings that desperately, screaming out for a proper striker. And they need goals and good defences. Whether they've got it, we don't know. So for them, I'm giving them a C+. Now Swansea are an interesting one. They've got out of the relegation zone with their new manager in, and he's certainly brought in their interesting transfers. One being the return of Andre Ayew. Now he brings goals, skill, also bringing in Andy King from Leicester, getting some game time for him, and a good centre mid who will be able to partner up well with the likes of Carroll. I've given them a B-, because they've addressed the places they needed to get to, not made any big signings.
So, summing up Swansea's January transfer window, it wasn't the best, it wasn't the worst. I can't really complain, to be honest, at the end of the day. We're playing really well at the moment. We've been playing really well under Carl. I don't think it really mattered too much who we brought in over January. We're always going to be in the same position the second half of the season, which is just basically fighting for our lives and trying to pick up as many points as we can. Bringing in Andre Ayew has probably been a bit of a game changer for us because we've got someone who can transition midfield into attack a bit better now, although he's not a natural number 10 and we still do lack that. I wasn't sure about him coming in completely at the beginning because he left in quite a bad way, forced his way out to West Ham, and we picked up a lot of money for him, but we've just spent that again. He's played 1 game for us so far. He seems like he's going to be alright, but it doesn't really make too much difference to me personally. The players that have left the club haven't really had too much of an effect on us this season at all. We've had Roque Mesa go, which is quite disappointing. He didn't get much game time. He didn't really make too much of a difference. It looks like he's going to leave permanently in the summer. Carvajal wasn't too fussed on keeping him around, and we brought in Andy King, who's come in and he said he really wants to be here,
help us fight. He's won a Premier League. He's also fought out of relegation, so I think he could be a really good asset that we might rely on at some point during the later part of the season. Yeah, okay, fair enough. January we didn't bring in the names that we wanted to. You know, we were linked with like Andre Silva and all these kind of like foreign players. We're never really going to be realistic targets, so I can't really complain. You know, solid job. It looks like we might be able to avoid relegation after all. So whatever Carvalhal's doing, it's working. So I trust him to keep bringing the club forward.
Tottenham, one player they brought in, Lucas Moura, adding to yet another brilliant squad. So is he needed? He's brought in skill and good dribbling and pace. Decent window for Spurs all round. Tottenham have got a B. Watford are another one who did a decent bit of business in the window. Signings they did make though, I mean, Ndong coming in from loan from Sunderland, alright, he's played in the Premier League, but it seems just a bit of a panic buy to me, or a panic loan. Deulofeu though, as much as I hate to see it, everything that Watford need. Pace, dribbling, skill, able to play and make those killer passes that he did for Everton. Him on one wing, Richarlison on the other. That's going to be decent, but whether that saved him from relegation, we don't know. So for Watford, signing that was impactful, was really one in Deulofeu, so Watford have got a B-. West Brom, really the only big signing that they did make was of course a loan offer for Daniel Sturridge. When fit, he's a good striker, got, you know, lots of Premier League experience, can score goals when fit, and he's just literally got injured. There's just nothing to the squad. There's no impactful player now that Sturridge is out injured again. So West Brom got a C-, I'm afraid. Not a great window, but they've done something.
Alright guys, it's Connor from West Brom Fan TV. I know Edward is doing a video where he's trying to get as many teams from 90 minutes. He wants us to summarise our transfer window. I don't really know what to say about our transfer window. Sturridge was a good signing and then he got injured. I think if I was to rate our transfers, I'd probably give it a D. We only made 2 signings. You know, we got in a centre half, we got in Daniel Sturridge, and that was pretty much it. Our transfer window was pretty poor, to be honest. When you're struggling at the bottom, you need players to come in. I felt like we should have made a lot more signings than we did, and now I think we're going to pay the price. I mean, Sturridge, he's a good player if he can stay fit, but it's a massive if with Daniel Sturridge because constantly getting injured. He's played like, what, 50 games in 4 years. I mean, for someone who's considered as a professional athlete, I think I've been on the pitch more than him. It's just literally, it's that bad. But we signed another player called Ali Gabir, or however you say his name. I don't really know of him, but you know, he hasn't played yet. He's just got his work permit, so hopefully he'll be able to play. But yeah, guys, don't forget to subscribe to Edward as well. I know he works really hard with his videos. And yeah, I'll see you later, guys.
West Ham. They did bring in Patrice Evra, 36 now, so it seems a bit pointless bringing him in. Another one, Hal Nariowen on loan. Hasn't really done much for Inter Milan, the reason he's gone out, but it's a big risk. Obviously, they've lost Reece Oxford, Diafra Sakho, Andre Ayew. You know, 2 of those, Diafra Sakho, Andre Ayew, can play at striker, which is what they need. Andy Carroll's injured. Who can play up top? Antonio. That's 1. I think Jordan Higuel from Preston looks alright, but West Ham haven't done it for me. So they haven't had the worst one, but they're still getting a D+ from me.
Alright guys, so West Ham United's transfer window, we brought in João Mario first of all. When we came into the club, we were all actually like, wow, he's on loan from Inter Milan obviously. I was really happy getting him because we need the squad depth, and I've seen him play already. I've seen him play against Wigan, and I've seen him play against Brighton, and I've seen him play against Crystal Palace, and I thought all those 3 games he looked really good and he fits into the squad perfectly. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Manuel Lanzini a little bit, and I thought he was a really good signing. And we thought, oh, maybe we're going to bring in some more players because the amount of injuries we've got, we are lacking squad depth right now. So we all are getting excited, like, oh, we're going to get in some players. This is going to be the January transfer window where we improve. Instead, we brought in a 36-year-old player who is way past it, Patrice Evra. If I'm being completely honest, it was not a good transfer window. We needed more players. We needed more squad depth because the amount of injuries we've got and players out, it's just not looking good. It frustrates me because it's really made the atmosphere at West Ham hostile. Everyone is against the owners. The banners at away games, it's just not looking good at the club right now, and I think we are in a lot of trouble. Honestly, if I'm rating this transfer window at 10, I'm going to give it a 2, and the only reason I'm giving it a 2 is because of Mario that we brought in. But if we brought a few more players in, and not just players that are just past it or stupidly young, obviously I would have rated it a lot higher. But honestly, no, it's not been good, and I really fear for West Ham. So yeah, back to you.
That's all the transfers graded, obviously you can see from down here. That is the end of the video. Thank you to all the 90-Min Fan Voice vloggers and for giving their opinions on the videos. Thank you to Gerry for also putting his input in. Yeah, I will leave all their social links, everything like that, down below. Go check them out, they're all really good people. Thanks guys. So yeah, that's basically the end of the video. If you did enjoy it, please leave a like, leave a comment down below. What did you think of the window? What did you think of your team's signings? Were they good, decent, make a difference to your team? Subscribe to the channel for more videos, and I will see you in the next one. Adios.